Hey friends, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am going to be discussing morning and evening routines, why they are so important, what my routines look like, and how you can start to implement these things into your life. So let's start off by talking about why these routines are so important. They are so important because when you consistently have practice a morning and evening routine, they become habit. And on the days that you are not motivated, that's the time that these habits kick in and they carry you through those days. And I will tell you, you are not going to be 100% motivated all the time. And that's why it's so important to have these habits. So, also, when you start your day off on a positive note and you're being proactive opposed to reactive, meaning that you wake up early and you do your morning routine instead of snoozing the alarm and then waking up late and then all of a sudden you're trying to play catch up all day long. Then you're going to have a positive day. You're going to have momentum to have a more productive day. You're going to just be vibrating at a higher frequency. Usually ask yourself, when you are running late, are you in a good mood or a bad mood? So that's why it's really important to create these routines for yourself. And then likewise, having a solid evening routine will help to optimize your sleep. And then, cycling back into the morning, having you wake up in a good mood and have a good start to your morning. So they definitely go hand in hand. Now, my routine looks like me getting up at 5 a.m. So that might be too early for some people, too late for some people, but that's what works for me. I like waking up early, honestly, because I feel like I get the most done in the morning. So I usually wake up early. For those of you who would like to start waking up earlier, but are just having some trouble with that, there are two things that I would recommend. Number one, start to wake up 15 minutes earlier. So for example, if you wake up at 7 o'clock now, and you want to start waking up earlier, don't start waking up at 5 o'clock tomorrow, because you are going to be fatigued, become exhausted, and quit. So I would recommend that if you wake up at 8 o'clock now, that you start waking up at 7:45. Do that for a week. Your body will adjust. You won't miss that time. And then just start taking time off until you reach the time that you'd like to wake up at. Just 15-minute increments. The other thing is, this is something that I use daily, is that I plug my cell phone in outside of my room. Why do I do that? Because when the alarm goes off, it forces me to get out of my bed, leave my room, and turn off the alarm. And once I've done that, I'm already up. I'm awake. So why would I go back to bed? So a lot of you sleep with your phone right next to your bed, and you just have the ability to keep pushing it, snoozing it, and then before you know it, you're late. So those are the two tips that I would give you for waking up earlier. Second thing that I do is I drink a glass of water. I put the water by my bed in the evening, and I believe that it's really important to stay hydrated and to get that started as soon as you wake up. The third thing that I do is meditate, pray, and breathe. So I have a specific area in my room that I go to, which I refer to as my Zen zone, and I pray. I thank God for everything that I've been blessed with, and I ask for guidance. How can I be of servants to people? And then I meditate. I believe that in prayer we ask God questions, and in meditation God answers us. So I meditate, and sometimes I use a guided meditation, sometimes I don't. It really depends on the morning. And then I do some quick breath work, but it's really a quiet time for me to get refocused, balanced, and really a time for me to get aligned with me, God, and the universe. And if you're not religious, you don't have to pray. And if you don't meditate, but you would like to start meditating, I would recommend that you start with smaller increments. You can, always increase those increments as you become more familiar and just more aware. But I wouldn't recommend that you start with 45-minute meditation. just because, again, you may get yourself overwhelmed and then end up quitting. The fourth thing that I do is I write in my gratitude journal. I write down the things that I'm grateful for, and then I start to think about the day. I start to put myself in a positive state of mind by asking myself what is exciting me about the day, what do I have to look forward to, what's the one thing that I like to get done. And so it really just shifts me to a positive state when I am in a state of gratitude, and then just with asking myself these questions. And then the next thing that I do is I play my script. So I wrote a script, but I recorded it because for me, it's more powerful when I hear it. So I put my script on in my earbuds, and then I visualize the things that I'm talking about in my script. Now, essentially, it's like a movie playing in my mind. I am in this moment. I am feeling the emotions that are coming up when I'm listening to my script. And then I just finish that off with some affirmations, and then I head downstairs for a workout. While I am working out, I listen to music just because it helps to motivate me more. Some people listen to Audible, some people listen to podcasts, but for me, I get most pumped up when I'm listening to music. So that's what works for me. Now, the most important thing about my morning routine is that I do not watch the news in the morning. I don't check my email or go on social media first thing in the morning. And the reason why is because I feel like those things are time and energy suckers, and I want to fill up my cup before I even start doing anything else. So these are the things that help me to do that, to fill my cup up, and it does not include social media or any of that. And I would recommend that you stay away from social media, even emails, because then once you start opening the emails, you feel the need to respond to people, and it's just taking away from your time with yourself. Some other things that other people use that I don't necessarily use are cold showers. This is a really good way to wake you up if you're somebody who struggles with getting up early. It activates your fight or flight response, and it essentially shocks and wakes up your nervous system. So that is a great way to just instantly wake yourself up and get yourself into the day. Some people like to read in the morning or study because they are most alert during the morning. I typically don't. I use the evening time for reading, but these are other things that you can use. Tony Robbins is a huge advocate for getting into peak state. So whether that's jumping around, using a rebounder, and listening to music and getting yourself pumped up for the day, that's something that actually my son really likes to do in the morning. Now let's move on to evening routine. So for me, a solid evening routine is focused or centered around quality sleep. And so for me to get quality sleep, I have to sleep in a cool temperature. I do this 100% of the year, even if it's raining, pouring outside, even if I am somewhere else and say it's snowing where I'm at, I still have to have a fan on just to keep the room temperature between 60 and 67 degrees. Some people think that's freezing, but it is been studied that that is the temperature that you need to stay within for optimal sleep. Also, you should be cutting your caffeine about 5 hours before you go to sleep. So you shouldn't have coffee 1 hour before bed. That's pretty obvious, but worth saying. Also, you shouldn't eat heavy food right before bed because that can create problems for sleeping. And an important one is that you should eliminate all blue lights, so TVs, cell phones, laptops, at least 30 minutes before bed. Studies have shown that negatively affects your sleep pattern. So stop using your cell phone at least 30 minutes before bed. One thing that has helped me is that I put my clothes out the night before. So since I go to the gym first thing in the morning, I put my gym clothes out. That means my tennis shoes also. And it just triggers something in your mind, letting you know and preparing you for the fact that you're getting up and going to the gym. And studies have shown that you are less likely to not go to the gym when you put your clothes out the day before. Go over tomorrow's schedule. So I just look at the schedule, look at any clients that I might be meeting, just so that I'm mentally prepared for those things. I also do my gratitude journal at night. I know that might seem a little bit excessive to some people, but really there is never you can't do too much gratitude. It's creating joyous feelings within yourself. You're just reflecting, and also it's a time for me to reflect on my day. So I write the things that I'm grateful for. I reflect on how my day went, what was the most joyous part of my day, what could I have done better, how is what I did today an investment for my future, things like that. And then after that, I go over my goals. I have a list of my goals next to my bed. I just reread those goals, and then I before I go to sleep, I do prayer. And typically when I turn off the blue screens is the time that I would read, because that helps me. It kind of signals my mind that we're getting ready for bed. So I don't know if you guys are interested in me writing these steps below, but I will leave them below. Hopefully that you learned something new or something that you can start to implement in your life. But what I would encourage you to do is to ask yourself what you're doing now, and is it working for you? And just be honest with yourself, because the bottom line is you need to take an honest evaluation of where you're at in order for you to grow. So I encourage you to maybe use one or two of the steps, maybe use all of them. Just figure out what works for you and then start to implement those into your daily routines. I hope that this was helpful. Please like and subscribe, share it with a friend, and I will talk to you guys next Monday.